So guys, how's it going in the world of Pokemon? This is Communist677, and I just had a battle with my sister a little while ago. Decided I'd post it because I got bored. I'm getting ready to join a tournament. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. This will be the first tournament I've entered in a few years. So I decided to start training, and just get a little bit better, get a little bit warmed up before I enter the battle. I think I'm going to be entering for my 3 Pokemon, since this is a double battle tournament. I'm entering with Shade677. I'm going to be entering probably the Pokemon Final Flame, which is my Charizard. Charizard is my favorite Pokemon ever. Probably, maybe my Rayquaza, because he can kind of back up my Charizard. And, my Mewtwo, because Mewtwo's just boss. Anyways, this is a battle I have with my sister, and, here you go. Yeah, just getting some practice in before I go. Yeah, her name is Sarah, and she is my little sister. So I start this battle off with my Lapras. And she starts the battle off with her Dragonite, which she spent a lot of time training, so it is really strong. And we're doing an infrared battle, so she starts off with Thunderbolt, and that catches me by surprise. This is my Fire Red Lapras. I've had him for years. And so then I use the same thing. I just go with my own Thunderbolt. And, of course, she has the item Leftovers. So I'm like, oh man, this is bad. So then she uses Thunderbolt on me again, and I'm like, okay, I can't take another Thunderbolt, or I'm just gonna lose here. I'm just gonna, die. And so we get paralyzed, so that's even better. So against all odds, I just Sheer Cold it out, and I get lucky and hit. And yeah, Sheer Cold is a 30% accuracy move, and it's a one-hit KO move if it hits. So I got lucky there and knocked out Dragonite. So then she sends out her Zekrom, and I'm like, oh, come on, this is not fair at all. A Lapras, 26 health, and paralyzed against a Zekrom. So she just makes it even better by using Fusion Bolt, and just totally annihilates my Lapras, and I'm like, come on, Sarah, this is just evil. So my Lapras goes down. So then I send out my Rayquaza. This is that Rayquaza I was telling you about earlier. Yeah, the ability for Rayquaza is always Airlock, negates all weather effects. So I go with a Dragon Pulse, and hopefully go for the knockout, because Draco Meteor, which she knows, will definitely kill me. So I get a critical hit with that Dragon Pulse, and end up knocking out Zekrom, so I get lucky there. Sorry about that. So then she sends out Moltres, and I'm like, okay. So I decided to take it a bit easy here, and I just go with Extreme Speed. And, it does about average damage. So she uses Fire Blast. And, her Moltres is, all special attack trained, so it actually does a decent amount of damage. So I use Extreme Speed again. Does some more damage on her. And she uses Fire Blast again. So it kind of goes back and forth here. There you go, another Fire Blast. And so then I use Dragon Pulse, because I'm like, okay, I'm not taking this easy anymore, and knock out this Moltres. So Moltres goes down. My sister's a good trainer, she's been practicing for a while, but she's not quite as good as me. So now she turns out her Mewtwo, and this is her strongest Pokemon, aside from maybe her Charizard, which is wicked fast. And she uses Psystrike, and that brings down my Rayquaza. Yeah, Psystrike is even more powerful than Psychic, so it's a really powerful move. I send out my Kingdra. My Kingdra's a really powerful Pokemon, because if I send him out in the beginning, I can just Dragon Dance it out, and then finish off entire teams with Water Pulse. I mean, not Water Pulse, where'd that come from? Finish off with Waterfall. So I just go for the Draco Meteor here. I probably could have used Dragon Dance and then used Waterfall and knocked this thing out, but I wanted to make this battle, seem really interesting, so yeah, so then she uses Psystrike again, and that's kind of, it for Kingdra. He goes down. I've had Kingdra for a long time. He's one of my strongest Pokemon. So I send out my Arcanine, also from my Fire Red version, which is the first Pokemon game I ever played. Arcanine's abilities can either be Flash Fire, which, if you get hit with Fire-type moves, your Fire-type moves go up when you use them, or Intimidate, which lowers the enemy Pokemon's attack by 1. If you're talking Pokemon terms, 0.1 stat. So yeah, I used Extreme Speed, and Mewtwo used Recover, and this is really annoying here because once she starts getting down in power points, she just, like, recovers it out. So I'm, like, mad now, so I use Flame Charge. So now my speed's higher, and I'm like, okay, here we go. So I shoot a Fire Blast, and just go for it. Yeah, Arcanine, you always want to have an Arcanine with Fire Blast or Flamethrower. It's just awesome. So I get a critical hit, and I'm, like, really happy, and Mewtwo goes down. So then she sends out Vaporeon, which is, by the way, her favorite Pokemon, and one of the first Pokemon she ever caught in her Leaf Green version. So I use Return, and it does just under half damage. And she uses Hydro Pump, which is just like, come on, that's so mean. My Arcanine does not have good special defense, and he cannot take Hydro Pump. So my Arcanine goes down, and she's like feeling confident. So then I send in my Mewtwo. This is a new Mewtwo that I've trained, because Mewtwo is my favorite legendary Pokemon. I health trained him, and special attack trained him. So she max revives her Mewtwo, and I'm like, oh, jeez. So I go with the Aura Sphere here. And that ends up killing the Vaporeon, because they get a critical hit, and that, like, is another lucky moment there. As if I couldn't have just used that move again the second turn and knocked it out. So then she sends out her Mewtwo, and this is just, like, a really, really, really boring moment here. Because then I use Psy Strike. Then she uses Psy Strike. And then this whole battle here turns into me using Psy Strike and her using Recover every single turn. Oh yeah, after I use this Fire Blast here. So I just basically end up attacking and her recovering. And then me attacking and her recovering, and then me bringing out power points and using other moves, and it just gets annoying. Yeah, my Mewtwo's pretty rough. I have this really, really, really powerful Mewtwo that I trained in, like, every single stat that I could as evenly as I could. So, I could have used him. I'm thinking of using him in this upcoming tournament. I don't know. He's, like, really, really strong, and I get accused of hacking him all the time, and I'm like, seriously, people, I don't hack. So that kind of takes me off when people say that I'm a hacker. Makes me mad. But whatever, I'll just kick all their butts and they can think I'm hacking. So anyways, yeah, back to the recovering and the Psy Striking, and the recovering and the Psy Striking and the Fire Blasting. So, I think this is close to the end of that spree there of boringness. Let's see. Nope, another recover. Yeah, that just goes on forever, and I'm like, oh, this battle's getting so boring. It was supposed to be awesome. But whatever. I think this is the end of that little spree. So, yep, there you go. Once she starts attacking, then she's done with her recover spree. So she uses Psy Strike. I think she ran out of power points for the move or something like that. So I use Psy Strike. And I could have used Recover here, but I wanted to make this battle seem interesting, because at this point, I think it's just, we both have our Mewtwo's, and we both have our Charizards, so I wanted to make it, like, really, really epic, finish off with Charizard's kind of battle. So I use Aura Sphere, because I'm out of Psychics and Psy Strikes and out of Fire Blast. End up knocking this thing out. Yeah, so she sends it to Charizard. This Charizard has 319 speed. Luckily, this Mewtwo has 320 speed. So, I get to go for one more little Aura Sphere there before she uses Flamethrower and knocks out my Mewtwo. Now, people, do not be alarmed here. My Charizard, whose name is Final Flame, he knows Dragon Dance, and for all you people that are screaming hacker, it's not hacking. Charizard, you can mate him in the Dragon category, and if you mate him with a Dragon-type Pokemon that knows Dragon Dance, you'll get a baby Charmander that knows Dragon Dance. So, I all special attack trained him, and since he knows Dragon Dance, that raises his attack and speed. And he's also holding the leftovers. Yeah, his special attack's like 348, so I go with my own Flamethrower. And, she goes with her Flamethrower. And her Charizard is Blast Burn, and I know that I'm not going to be able to take a Blast Burn when her Charizard's in the Blaze. So, I decided to finish this whole thing off and use Dragon Pulse. And that goes for the knockout. So that was a really fun battle. Really enjoyed it. There you go, guys. That was the battle. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, that's about it. It was a really fun battle I had with her. I'm just gonna start battling a bunch of people over and over and over, and just get a bunch of like practice in. So wish me luck at the tournament. Later, guys.